over here. That was fun.
We're sitting here with Miss Herring, school counselor, Mr. Yancey, school administrator, Mr. Young, school business teacher. We kind of touched base on some emails, informal things about getting together and forming a collaborative team to focus on school issues and things we thought we can do to help student learning overall. So it's kind of just want to reflect on the last kind of emails we talked about, kind of brainstorm maybe some things that we see that are going on, and maybe come up with some action ideas to come improve the school student learning and help teachers facilitate relationships. So do you guys have any things that you think are pertinent school issues that you see around the hallways?
I think that one of the most things I see in the hallways is that teachers are not really getting to know the kids on a personal level, and that's really deep. In today's day and age, kids have to know that you care.
Yes.
And if they don't think that, they're not going to go the extra mile for you. They won't respect you, and that's my observation.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, especially dealing with some of the in-school suspension issues, I think the disciplinary action of it isn't enough. You know, these kids skip out on detention, and there's no consequence behind that. So we wanted to try to address the situation. What can we do to get kids to participate more, carrying out that consequence for them serving the detention?
I know we talk about discipline a lot, but we know that like the relationships, like you said, Mr. Young, is a huge piece. I think in not only decreasing discipline issues, but also increasing student achievement in the classroom. A lot of these kids, they don't even want to come to class really if they don't feel that relationship. Those positive things or positive feelings for people that are wanting them to come to school, wanting them to come to class. And the students are not engaged like I think they should be in the classroom, which is why I think sometimes our African American subgroup, their grades are not as high as our white Caucasian subgroup of students here. You guys think teacher engagement, differential instruction has anything to do with that, or what do you guys think plays an issue with our kids not achieving in the classroom?
I believe it's a little bit of both. I don't want to blame the teachers. I mean, I think the kids have to take the initiative as well, and they need to be responsible for some things as well. You only control what you can control. I mean, the teachers are here to educate, don't get me wrong, and that's their job. But I do think sometimes as educators, we have to do more. We have to stretch ourselves a little bit more to give a little extra so the kids can give extra as well. So, but at the same thing, I think the kids need to be more responsible for their actions as well too. These kids today, they don't really take responsibility for what they do. They don't think they can get in trouble or have consequences, or I'm not going to do my homework, or I'm going to be disrespectful, I'm going to cut class. I mean, you have to be accountable for what you do, and when you get in the real world, it's not going to work.
I agree. I see that too. A lot of students don't take ownership.
That's
all the discipline and ownership of that.
They want to argue
classroom.
everything. I didn't do this. Well, I did this. He said this. What did you do?
But you ain't say nothing for that other person.
Right. Yeah. Right. So it's just being accountable for it. I think once you can be accountable, when kids start realizing that, I think they'll be in a much better place as far as schoolwork and being a good person.
Yeah, I just that they were just an issue. The kid got in trouble for having his phone out in class, and one of the first things he said was, "Well, she wouldn't say nothing to the other student." But that doesn't happen. You're doing something wrong.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So I said you guys touched on the relationship piece, a lot of the discipline piece. What do you feel we can do going forward to help cut down on discipline issues or increase students' achievement in the classroom?
I would say for the discipline issues, I mean, rules are in place. Rules have to be followed. I don't know it's something that we can do differently. I mean, if it's a rule, you have to follow it. I mean, you have to. I mean, we have to do our jobs as well. And if we don't enforce those rules, we're
Well, I think the biggest thing across the board is just one word, and that's consistency.
Yes.
And if one assistant principal does one thing, then I think that the other assistant principals need to do the same thing. When you have more people that are in position of making those type of decisions, when they let one person go so many times, it becomes a pattern for every other student to follow. So I think if everybody can just be a little bit more consistent and not be a dead horse over it, I just think that it needs to be across the board. If we want to, one of the biggest things is at lunchtime, if kids can't go to the library, don't let one or two go. You know what I mean? So just across the board, just in my opinion, just consistency.
I agree. Do y'all think discipline is the biggest issue here, or you think student achievement is maybe the biggest issue this team should try to tackle?
mean, that's everywhere, that's anywhere you go, that's not.
So are you asking like, what is, like, address the question one more time?
So as, if we're gonna be a collaborative team, focusing on the issue of the school that we're gonna try to tackle, either decrease something that's bad or improve something that needs to be improved.
I think we should improve.
Yeah, I don't,
You know,
that's a great thing, that's, and working in schools like I've been this long, it's a handful, it's not all the kids. I mean, it's a certain amount of kids that you know that you're gonna have issue with, and you have to deal with those accordingly, but I think you should be about achieving and getting better.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. What do you think, Ms. Aaron?
I think it's, what I got towards when he was up there speaking about it, we need to go ahead and try and push the kids out.
Okay.
And
Because I know I'm thinking about tackling as a team more of the student achievement piece in the classroom. I just want to kind of get you guys' thoughts on that. Some ideas that kind of come to my head is, I think we got to start with the teachers, maybe getting all the teachers together so they can kind of collaborate, discuss classroom strategies and different techniques they can use to maybe engage all the students. Because I talked to some of our African-American students, some of them say the lectures and some of the teaching methods don't really appeal to them, so therefore they're not engaged, so they're not learning at the rate that they should be. So I'm thinking maybe we should try to come together and try to help teachers with more differentiated instruction to diversify their teaching styles, because we got multiple learning styles in the classroom. Every student in the class learns a different way. So I think if we can tackle it as from the academic side first and try to help the teachers and get them trained on different methods to help the students, because the teachers are better, the students should be better.
Yeah.
I agree. Things like that. And then after that, maybe we can try to get the students and talk to them about some different ideas and things like that that they can do, taking ownership of their own actions and things like that. Okay, so you guys been in agreement about that type of academic piece first? So what I'm kind of thinking about is maybe getting together with some administrators, kind of getting a plan together for PD Day, professional development with the staff, and maybe myself and Ms. Hannah can lead that with the administrators, come together once we put our plan in place. And then maybe, Mr. Yancey, you're really good about speaking publicly, and once we get the plan in place and have the day set, Mr. Yancey and Mr. Young, you guys can lead that PD with the teachers. So just kind of giving them different tools and skills that they can come together and collaborate with to help our students in the classroom. And then after that, we'll have to start to come together with some follow-up measures, how we're going to measure if our PD has been successful, like maybe checking 6-week progress reports, just overall report cards. So we created a 3-week progress report of our own for teachers to kind of hand out, maybe in a homeroom. We kind of track students, things like that. So those are just some things to kind of think about going forward, okay? So we're going to kind of close with that today, but just kind of think about before our next meeting, what are some things we can do for professionally development-wise that we can ask our teachers and give them different tools for to attack different learning styles, and maybe what are some things we can do to kind of measure the progress of what we're going to try to do. All right, so if everybody can do that, then we can go forward from that point. All right, everybody good with that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's try to get together and meet again next Thursday. And I'll be in touch with each of you individually between that time, try to kind of pick your heads. I know sometimes in meetings, things kind of go a little fast, but after everybody has a chance to process things like that, I'll touch back with you guys before next Thursday. All right, thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right.
All right, you guys, see you guys later. All right.
see how it works out.
Right. Good night. School calling me up there.
See you, Mr. Young, see you, Mr. Yancey.
All right, see you later. See you, Ms. Herring, Mr. Kirksey.
All right, Ms. Harris, it was great working with you on this project and the different meetings that we had. Just kind of wanted to sit back and just touch base with you, just to kind of pick your brain a little bit about the whole process of working with the team, and what are some of your initial thoughts, just reflecting back on the meeting. First, how's your day today? It was good. Anything exciting happen today at work? Any students do anything noteworthy you want to talk about?
No, someone gave me a thank you card the other day.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but no, other than that.
All right, good. Looking back, do you think process? Kind of, we just kind of want to kind of get some initial things going, some brainstorming. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just think that a lot of kids do need to take responsibility of their own work, though. But maybe we do a lot of follow-up, though, like even with parents, getting them involved in too.
I agree. Overall here, I mean, you've been here quite a while. You kind of on a different side of things as a counselor, so you get to talk to kids more about scheduling, their 4-year plans. You kind of, sometimes they come to you about different personal issues. Do you think we got to improve relationships here, reflecting back on what you've seen?
I do, because I believe a lot of teachers don't try to interact more with students and see what's going on in their life. And then I was just trying to basically just pass out the work and not really trying to get in a relationship with students.
Yeah, I agree. What are your whole thoughts on working together with a group and collaborative team? Just reflecting back, how do you feel about that? Are you more, it's just going to be like, it's kind of hard for you because you're more of an independent worker? How do you feel?
I think working in a group would be better because you get a lot more of the ideas and different opinions to reflect on the department.
Okay. Now, we've had our PD discussions and all of our, we're helping teachers now. Do you think our overall plan that we put in place is working at this point, reflecting back?
I see some improvement. I do. Going forward, though, I just hope, it'll get better.
I think I see some improvement. I think I see some teachers that are actively trying to incorporate into the classroom some of those tools that we try to give them in PD development. I think some students are becoming more engaged. I think the overall culture of the school is changing. I think it's a little harder for some of the older teachers to try to buy into learning different teaching styles because the teachers have been here for so long, they're kind of set in their ways. They got their classes set how they want to set. They're more lecture style. But as you know, you see a lot of different diverse students that come in your office every day, and you're going to have to reach these students in different ways in the classroom. So I think our overall goal is being accomplished because we just wanted to improve student learning. I think it is increasing. I think overall, especially for the African American subgroup, if we look at the last project report we just saw, we've seen an increase from the last project report. African American school at a 2.5. I think this project report there at 2.7, 2.75, which is going in the right direction. That achievement gap piece we kind of mentioned in our last meeting. Trying to close that achievement gap. I think we're definitely working in the right direction. Who do you feel was the strongest member of our team?
It's Leon.
Why you say that?
Because he was very verbal, and he gave some good ideas and some opinions. So, but yeah, it's Leon.
And, that was actually, I don't want to say surprising, but Mr. Yancey's a little bit more outgoing than Mr. Young. But Mr. Young, I think, really flourished in this situation because he got a chance to have a voice that he might not ordinarily have. I mean, he speaks up, but he's still a little more on the quiet observation type. And I think he did give us some great ideas to help teachers in the classroom. He did a great job of helping create the measurement piece with the 3-week project, of course, we kind of instrumented